Good morning. Good morning. How are you folks doing this morning? Jessa, Everett, Yvette. Good morning, Dawn. How are you guys doing there? Ingrid, we see you as well. Bernice, good to have you. Charlene, Diane, Dawn. Good morning, Duncan, Sharon. I see you there. How you all doing? How you all doing? Remember, it's Sylvester there for a second. Members of the head table. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. This Tuesday morning is Tuesday, the 23rd day of September. Septiembre, Noviembre, Diciembre, Octubre. Yeah. Hablar no español, no. Paulette. Good to have Maxine, Donald, Mandy. Marvel Schultz is here with us as well. Good to have all of you folks. Claire Alexis, Charlie Richmond is here too. Good to have you, Claire, on the live. You all know how we see it. On the live. Philomena Fontenelle. You all know as big people, we got to stick together. They are the young ones. They're a little giddy-ish. They're very giddy. Very giddy. Right? Very. But then get it right. They get it right. Sheena, Mandy, Gwyneth. You know, as we started this young get it right thing here, and then everybody suddenly, they don't like here, send nothing in this place, you know. Sheena, Morna, Gwyneth, Philomena, Arvin, Dawn, Rena, they can get it right. Then get it right. Maxine, Ingrid, loud and clear. Thank you. I love having some big people around who understand the assignment. Roll out of bed, land on the ground. You don't jump off a tree and land on the ground. You're out of bed, land on the ground. You hit the ground running. Grace, Mandy, Siobhan, good to have you. Erwin, Don, Adriana, good to have you too. Adriana Butter. I never met Adriana, didn't like. Nice folks. Eva, good to have you there as well. Marlon Jacobs and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. A very good morning to each and every one of you. Folks, so much happening. We want to bring you up to speed on, including the latest on the bridge in Linden, the Wisdom Mackenzie Bridge, Mabon the bridge from Mabon. Bring you folks up to speed what's happening on that front as well. But good to have all of you on the broadcast, close to 400 of you, if I could believe the numbers. The numbers don't lie. I see that's the thing with radio. You ain't got a good sense. You know, perhaps they got the technology now. to let you know precisely how many are listening on radio. But radios and television got a little scattershot. You know, you might say, oh, this area got 240,000, but you're uncertain exactly who watching. You see, social media, you get the thing live and direct. Just over 400 of you now, just over 23 of you have hit that emoji button. Wop, wop, wop. Wop, wop, wop. That's, you can get it right, though. We can get it right. Good morning, folks. How are you doing? Had me some pancakes this morning. Compliments of the wife. Some black coffee here as per normal. Bought some sugar as on the coffee. Demerara Gold. And I noticed the coffee has a film. I blame the coffee. I say, see this Nestle Gold? You see Nestle? So I said, well, I'm going to not do the Nestle Gold. I go back to the original. So I put in the water, put in the sugar, and about to apply the coffee. My apologies to Nestle. When I about to put the coffee now, I noticed there's a film at the top of the sugar. A dirty sugar, well packaged. How many of you had that experience? How many of you? Dirty sugar, Demerara Gold, dirty sugar. Nicely packaged. You mean guys, so going to get it right? I wonder if that's the one the exporting or trying to export. Is that one of the little packets you get on the flight now? Is that a little salamite package? Little crunchy thing. So what are you going to do with that? You're all health conscious and so a little smidgen, smattering of sugar. Good morning, folks. Good morning. John Ramachandran says, it's true. I was quite surprised. Because I says the loose sugar, the loose ones, you get the problem with. You know? I think I passed the age trainer and all. I try to, you know, I can go the one less trouble to consume. The packaged sugar, grumsy. What's happening here? Ms. says is the Guyanas we're living in. All in Guyana. Shortest? The Honorable Nima Flubas is on the live this morning. She says, I have noticed that too in the sugar. I mean, if you can bring all these grams, you gotta give me this at half price. Knock off something. God, that's got me feeling a little drowsy. Something's in the sugar. Grumsy. I remember going to I was with a beautiful friend of mine, Rashina. You know, beautiful friend of mine. And we spent the day foraging. That's the word? Foraging. Green Acres Mall is that Queens or Brooklyn? Green Acres Mall. And I remember, this is so many years ago because Jean-Pierre is now 17, going on 18, and we were buying a little itsy bitsy baby shoes for him, a baby sneakers. We saw like the cutest pair of Nike sneakers for a baby. That's a long time ago. Come to think of it, a long time ago. And that was like yesterday. Cutest pair of baby sneakers, Nike. I like the Nike brand for comfort. And I wanted him to match up with the father. So we gone there and I think it was $70 or something like that. And about to pick up the shoes and show the lady. The lady said, no, this one is not for sale. It has a yellow tail on it. I said, what's the yellow tail? It's a brand, it's a new Nike brand. What's this yellow tail story? You know, the little thing at the back of the sneaker is to pull it up. You put your finger through it and you pull it up. That's the tail. A little thing, you know, not all sneakers have it. At the back of the sneaker, some sneakers come with it. They help you to pull it up. You know, we push your hand in at the back and pull up. Or you wiggle your foot till you get in. Right? But the tail, you can put your finger through it and just kind of pull it up. Right? It was white, but it had started to yellow. Queens, yours is Queens. Green Acres Mall in Queens. And she said, no, it's the last one, we can't sell it. It has this defect. I said, lady, what are you talking about? This guy from defect? She said, all right, if you insist, but we're going to take something off. I think we ended up getting it for $20. So, $20 or $30. It has a yellow, and she was making a big fuss. No, sir. It has a yellow tail. You could barely see this thing to pull up. Started to get a little yellow. Barely see it. And she was making, I said, lady, some get it from, pack the thing up for me, girl. pack the thing up for me. She said, we're going to give you a discount. Ended up paying $20 or something like that. Friends, I got to come for some more yellow tail sneakers up in here. We drinking all this grums in the sugar, normal. My aunt took me to breakfast a Sunday morning. What's the name of the place in Manhattan? Lafayette. Is it in Manhattan? Huh? You know, some people believe if you stand in a garage long enough, you could turn a car. I swear to God, if I sat in this place long enough, I could inherit some of the money coming in the doors. Lafayette. It's that in Manhattan? Beautiful area, beautiful. As soon as you walk in this place, you feel like money. You understand? You think they could serve this grumsy sugar in Lafayette and get away with it? You can't serve this grumsy sugar, this yellowtail sugar in Lafayette and get away with it. Come on now. Some of the most beautiful cookies I've ever eaten in my life. What's the name of the cookie? Crumble. Sweet Jesus of my crumble cookie. Cookie from the imagination. Cousin took me to crumble. I ain't want to come out. I licorice bad. Cookies got your palate doing backflips. You think they could use this yellowtail, rusty, grumsy sugar? Ned Beckett says it's in Manhattan. I had such a fantastic. You see, when you drinking your coffee at Lafayette, took and came. I had such a wonderful time at Lafayette. My God. I had a fantastic time. They're known for something. Don't ask my cousin, fascinated by chocolate croissant, something they're all rave about. You can't carry this grumsy yellowtail sugar at Lafayette, at Crumble. How you gonna do it? Right? This must be some Waffle House sugar. My cousins, my family says the more rusty the Waffle House, the better the breakfast is. So there's some Waffle House sugar. They say no IHOP sugar here. Good morning, folks. You see, I got enough. Good morning to all of you. Let's touch on some of the things that matter. Noel Grant. Latoya Force, I love crumble. I love it. I see this spreading now. We met one in the south. I said that was the only one. Now I see New York crumble here, there, and everywhere. Crumble is like an art form. You won't come out. You can't carry this nasty sugar by crumble. You know? But it goes to show, when we settle for less, temporary becomes permanent. You know? I see the point, a new CEO for the Ministry of Housing coming across from the local content secretariat, Dr. Martin Portab. Congrats to him, friends, family, and favorites. This post has been free for a long time. James, all this work James doing, pointing out garbage in front of the mayor house. He pointed out garbage. The former mayor in East Repentance, he pointed out garbage. You know, she can't become showing garbage. Like, what is it? You know, this position was vacant for a long time, since the last man they get finally with the house and the this and the that. He buying up some million US property houses in, you know, some very, very high-end locations in New York, this post has been vacant. They haven't said James and or Tandai or whoever. Check what? You only there for Ricey to walk? Or not Ricey to, what's the thing? Doberman or whoever? Chihuahua? Whatever it is, whatever breed. Shih Tzu, whatever it is. You know? Whatever it is. Oh, Martin come out. I don't see Martin Patab. They're pointing out everything. Like he's more PvP than the PvPites. Like he's more PvP than the PvPites. Carlisle Madu, am I making sense? Am I making sense? Miss Charges, Sean Castro, Edward Jacqueline Argyle. Just so he can meet the limit to post on Facebook. Right? 100 billion. Just so he can meet Sanborn, just so he can meet the meter. Facebook said, cannot post anymore. You've met your limit. 100 billion. You know what the kids say. I never see Martin Portab like that on social media. Martin get in. You see? Martin get the brown bag. Or his black. I can't even. I ain't got any glasses. It's right there. It's right there. Get it upside down and all. Martin get the black brown bag. And he's very happy too. I don't see Martin bending over in all these angles. Bending over backward. Besides PvP, y'all notice me. Y'all give me something. It's PvP. Oh, foolish Galatians. Who has bewitched you? See? Martin just talking. Like Kioma Griffith, just talking. Congrats to them. You the older making yourself a clung. Clunging out yourself. You see? And Martin come and edge you out. He's like Joe Hamilton. Making a fool of yourself. We just call him house something. Here comes. Congrats, Martin. Dr. Martin Patab. He must have done something well. CEO of housing. You gotta watch him. CEO of housing is buying up big properties in the US and all that. Apartment, block, building and all kinds of stuff. So, right? We're happy for Martin. Happy for his family. Life is about stages. Look, when I come into my kingdom, y'all get vexed with me, you know. When I come into my kingdom, y'all don't vex with me. That's why I'm happy for Martin. You know, joy with those who joy and are happy. Martin happy. All right. We go hold you accountable though. We ain't getting no free pass. Congrats, Martin. You, the family, the wife, the children. You know. We hold you accountable though. Certainly, as y'all hold me accountable too. Wayne Green. So we saw that, to be honest, share with you, because we are wondering, like, some people only go for flunky work. Some people only go for flunky work. But it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. The road accidents continue almost unabated. Almost unabated. They're telling us that just in the last, a couple days or so, look how many they've racked up. Between September 14th and 20th, the Guyana Police Force Traffic Department recorded 2,314 traffic offenses. I hope some of this y'all are numbered in it, you know. Because I got to hold y'all accountable. As y'all hold me accountable. They said major traffic violations included 252 speeding cases. Carlton, you was one of them. Desiree, Mitz, Denise, you was one of them. Natasha, Use one of them? Are you? Apologies. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Some folks are trying to call us. They can try to upset us now. They can try to upset us effortlessly. Good morning to all of you. I hope you all are not numbered in this bunch here. I hope so. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Naomi Druck, I see you there. All right. Naomi wants to know why James Feely has to walk in the sun pointing out garbage. You know, why he has to do that. All right, in other news, y'all numbered among these 252 speeding, 196 tinted vehicles infraction, 152 helmet violations, 71 seatbelt offenses, 21 DUIs. You know what I always smile at? When people come in the vehicle, sometimes they pull the seatbelt, they put it at the back of them. And they always say, that's for your safety, not for the seat. They pull the seatbelt, tuck it in so they don't hear the beeping, and they put it behind them. I said, that's actually for your safety. It's not for the seat. It only works well if you wear it. You know, but I don't. You know, long before seatbelt was a fad here, I used to wear my seatbelt. People say, you think you're something. Then as long I want to live long. As long I want to live long, they think I'm back for the car, back for the seat, back for you. All right? Saw a guy had an accident at the Jumbie Bird roundabout the other day. The kid was in the car. He said the brakes failed and he had to do something to stop the car. And thankfully, the traffic wasn't heavy there. And he hit the lamp, he hit the light post on the roundabout, stopped the car. The kid was bounced around in that car. Why? Because she wasn't strapped in. The belt is not for the seat. It's actually for you. The child wasn't, and people have the tendency of having the children stand between the two seats. They're in the back, yes. Or sometimes they're sitting in the front, unbuckled, not belted. You know, so you might want to watch that. 71 seatbelt offenses. Might want to watch that. So a couple of things we're following, folks. We think you guys all know about. We're throwing out at you folks this morning. Look, this other issue that we're following here. Terrible crash. The Linden-Soesdijk Highway. Folks, speeding. You know, that's a traffic offense by itself. And whatever else. 1 dead, 2 hurt. Slow down. Let me arrive alive. The previous story, I noted that the police force was conducting road safety education in schools. They said 24 schools across 10 regions. We used to do it at school, at primary school, and I'm happy to see them still pushing road safety. Was a feature, was a class. You had to go and, you know, they had the practical crossing the road and so on. We got to go back there. So kudos to the police force. But this other report indicates that the police are investigating this fatal accident that occurred around 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, Hillfoot, on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway, involving a motor car and a lorry. So the car was traveling at a high rate of speed in the lorry's lane, collided with the front of the truck, despite the driver's attempt to avoid the impact. The car driver died at the scene, while 2 passengers were injured and treated at the Diamond Regional Hospital. Yep. And up to this report this morning, we're being told that the victim's identity is still unconfirmed. What is interesting about that Linden Highway, because of how it has deteriorated over the years, many years it took for that to happen, right? I often see drivers trying to avoid the unevenness of the road, but driving in the oncoming lane, as against slowing down and just trying to get through that patch. I'm not saying that's happening in this instance, but I've noticed that. And I try not to do it, because if you're driving too fast, sometimes there's a sudden drop in the road. You know, and because it drops so far, or the incline is so steep, it hits the bottom of the car, and them guys don't want to slow down. Slow down, so we arrive alive. Again, the victim still remains, the identity of the victim still remains unconfirmed, as they tell us the accident is still under active investigation. Right, G-Come got thieves GCOM has thieves. My God. You know, I don't think there are a few stakeholders in this country take GCOM seriously, you know. Once GCOM gets something in the box that come out that favor them, they're not worried. Right? You will see when the PPP end up in the opposition benches, then they can realize how many things wrong at GCOM. How many things wrong at GCOM? When we started house registration, they weren't in agreement with it. And the current chairman, she halted the process. We never liked the list. We always thought it was rancid and rotten and has to be sanitized. But until they find themselves on the opposition benches, then you go want to know. And then you can hear the tune of the same stakeholders that currently say they ain't got no issue with the status quo. You're going to see how many issues they start pointing out. They're telling us $5 million missing from GCOM. Yep. Between, I think, September 14th and 15th. Between September 15th and 16th. Police investigating a $5 million theft from GCOM. Said to have occurred between September 15 and 16, and this is confirmed with the crime chief, Wendell Blanham. Said a number of GCOM employees, several of them, are assisting in this investigation, or are being investigated. Same thing. Several of them. And I saw a lot of you saying on social media, money is not the only thing that gets thieved there. Eva, Vanessa, Jennifer, Desiree, Troy Fraser. Money is not the only thing that got stolen there. Some of you said that. Around. Some of you said that. Money wasn't the only thing. GCOM. We're going to have to scrutinize GCOM. You'll hear a lot of recommendations are being made. Last evening, the incoming members of parliament for APNU, we had a meeting discussing the policy prescriptions, the policy direction, the policy focus we'll be pursuing in the next 5 years, and also the parliamentary, the legislative agenda we'll be pursuing as well over the last 5 years. And I was trying to put systems in place for the night show before, because I knew that meeting would have gone for a lengthy time. I didn't get to do that on time, put that other system in place, and that's why we didn't have a night program. I told you folks, when we don't have a night program, we're not hands, not class, doing something, playing footsie-wootsy or something like that, or skylarking, because we're engaging. Something meaningful that is taking us away from the program time. And so we were putting that together, planning our work, and then working our plan. I saw lots of you said that you all are very happy that we're back on the ground, meeting people, engaging people, listening to the issues, and advancing the agenda forward. And we can only do that effectively if we have a plan. And we spent a long time yesterday just doing that. Just doing that. And we'll be bringing those plans to you, and you're going to help us too. Some of you have the expertise at home and abroad that we need. Right? So we can be enlisting you guys on some of that as well. That being said, folks, oil. We're producing more oil. We are producing more oil. We got the capacity to produce more oil now, as they tell us we're going into this new oil project. It's all about the oil. The 7th oil extraction project, the Hammerhead Field development. This is just weeks into its new term. Right? The government has approved this 7th oil extraction project. All this is well and good. Once it redounds to the benefit of our Guyanese people, they said ExxonMobil has put $6.8 billion into this. I wonder how much they've made since we start pumping oil. ExxonMobil. Is this our own money going back to invest $6.8 billion? Right? They said this will produce 150,000 barrels a day starting in 2029. bringing the national capacity up to about 1.5 million barrels per day, BPD. 150 1.5 million barrels per day. That will bring up the total to producing 150,000 barrels a day with just this Hammerhead project. That must redound to the benefit of Guyanese, man, across this country. Across this country. But time will tell. Time will tell. You see? Because as we pointed out yesterday morning, things tight. And things ain't tight a little bit. Things tight bad. We're being told, in addition to that, that the Demerara Harbour Bridge, Demerara Harbour Bridge has completed its first, I think, critical load test, stress test. The first of it, folks, if the bridge these folks building, the roads these folks building, the roads and bridges, the small bridges, are anything to go by. Are anything to go by. And rigorously test this bridge. Rigorously test this bridge. That's what we got to do. Rigorously. Talking about bridges. Talking, as we're on the subject of bridges, Simone and Mark and Kim, Annette, as we are on the subject of bridges, I sat down quite recently with the mayor of Linden, the outgoing mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, for the latest on this incident, this accident that transpired on the Wisma Mackenzie Bridge. All I was born at Mackenzie Hospital, 1979. It was a Saturday around 2 a.m. that morning. Oh, my Lord. I've been such a blessing to my family ever since. So I was happy to be back in the mining town, sitting down, talking to Sharma quite recently. The latest on the bridge, folks. Take a look. Take a listen.
So, welcome to our broadcast. We're talking here with the Mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, for a little while. For a little while. I want to talk a little bit about what a transition may look like as he steps up to the National Assembly as an elected member of the National Assembly, a member of Parliament. So we're going to talk about that too, how he's taking that. But we are at the iconic Wisma Mackenzie Bridge here, where there was an incident quite recently, Sharma. I saw the Prime Minister characterize it as a terrifying reminder of the neglect faced by Linden residents, and former Minister of Infrastructure David Patterson fired back at him and described his claims as Patterson says that Phillips was once a proud soldier and now he is delivering information to advance the PPP agenda, information which Patterson suggests is just propaganda. Talk to us about this incident. Paint the backdrop for us.
Well, let me just start up front with the Prime Minister's statement, and I did describe it to be inexcusable ignorance or willful deceit. I think the Prime Minister is well aware of where the bridge is and the condition of the bridge, not only based on what he would have witnessed as a person traveling the bridge, but the many reports that went into the bridge from the Bridge Committee through NISIL and the statutory means by which the Ministry of Public Works is aware of this condition of the bridge. Sherrod, 4 months ago, we had an inspection of this Wisma Mackenzie Bridge done by a Mr. Paul Jones and an engineer from the Ministry of Public Works. I think I remember his first name, Sheridan. And those individuals, in their assessment, comprehensively dealt with the state of the bridge, its infrastructure, the state of the repairs that are needed, even the performance of the contractor was noted several months ago. And that report was submitted as we had the engineer from Ministry of Public Works, and we have NISIL, who've always dealt with the repairs. And let us not forget, NISIL is an arm of government in terms of government agency, and they are now managing on behalf of the bauxite company all of those divested investments that are still held by government, which includes the bridge.
So the bridge belongs to Lin Mine, which is the bauxite company.
Yes.
And Lynn Mine comes under the jurisdiction of NISIL.
NISIL. No, but let us go even further back, because the bridge comes under the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge Act. That because the company were the ones used, the companies, wherever they transition, were the ones using the bridge, their responsibility in the act was to ensure that they maintain, and wherever resources are accrued from the bridge, to remit a portion of that to the town council, the local authority. That is what the act states. That continued up until the announcement of the free toll, where we heard absolutely anything, nothing more about the bridge, one, of our remitting of the toll to the council, and two, who will be responsible for its maintenance and its upkeeping. And there is where I want to put the Prime Minister back in check, because he is aware of these things. And I think, as I said, it was inexcusable ignorance or willful deceit for him to perpetrate to the public that they have no responsibility. And I like the point where you made that he said Linden has been neglected. Now, by whom? Certainly by government of Guyana.
Yeah, I think also it was, I saw former Finance Minister Winston Jordan said during the course of the week as well that he was instrumental in terms of the revenue sharing, the 70-30, ensuring that a portion of that, and a sizable portion, comes to the town council, and also qualifying what Patterson had said, that it is the government who has the responsibility through all these mechanisms, Lynn Mine and NASIL, to maintain the bridge.
Historically would have always been the ones maintaining the bridge. The council have never ever maintained or repaired the Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge. Never.
Yeah, and one of the things I heard you talking on a live about right on the bridge behind us here is the fact that since taking over the bridge July 31st, they have not done any maintenance work.
Well, more than that too, you know, we have two councillors that are part of a committee that gives oversight, or in fact brings to the council attention what are some of the things happening with some of the infrastructure, whether it's the Scheme Bridge, it is the Blueberry Hill Bridge, or the Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge. And what we have recognized is that even as it relates to council and council's intention to ensure that these infrastructure are properly maintained and taken care of, what we recognize in the continued maintenance of them is whenever the request is made to government, it is done at their own time. So I'll give you one. When the government was preparing for their campaign in Linden, their massive rally, the bridge was set for repairs the said week. In fact, the area that the young lady fell in and would have been injured was cordoned off to be repaired the said week. It was not done because of that rally. And we had the use of the incomplete bridge that is with the trestle, where traffic was allowed. So to accommodate the rally, we had the neglect for the repairs, and we had the use of a bridge that is not completed. And after the rally, no repairs continued, and the bridge was left like that, including that cordoned off area with just red caution tape where the individual fell through.
Yeah, but and what is interesting, Sharma, is that that bridge is still cordoned off. Persons can still
at this moment, the bridge is in a state where you have pieces are literally falling through the bridge, and you have at this moment some amount of repairs taking place, which, as we have said before, is insufficient with the amount of work and damages to the bridge. I think what government is saying, and let me give you what the approach to Minister Edgell seems to be. We had an issue with the Nikadak Road in a contaminated state with materials being used, and it produced a lot of dust because they were using that as the access road as they prepared this bridge. We said to them the road needs to be capped, because if you don't cap it, the dust will do two things. When it's dry, it will become powderized and get into people's system easy, and when it's wet, the place becomes slushy. Edgell words to us was that the people were living with this anyhow, so as to say that they should continue to suffer until the road is completed. Think about the bridge now. It's as if to say we should take our chances until the new bridge is completed. But like the road, because it was so dangerous and the council had pointed it out, they still had to go and do the road a few months even after we made that claim. I'm telling you, it's the same will happen with this bridge. Even though they're making those insignificant interventions for repairs, we are certain, because of the significant damage of that bridge, they will have to shut it down and do proper works on it.
You know, interesting development. Have you been in touch with the folks who, as you said, were badly injured? I know there was a rider, pillion rider,
Yes,
the
yes.
young lady, a baby was also involved.
And someone lost the bike.
And
the bike
yes.
actually fell overboard and lost in the water.
Yeah, and we're being told that government is trying to strong arm
Yes.
these folks to accept compensation.
Now, again, the same agency that is with the responsibility to repair and maintain. And let me go back again. Minister Ejel came to Linden a few Decembers ago, last December before, when you had several motorists complaining about damages to their vehicle and wheel and tires and things like that. And it was through NISL and Minister Ejel that those people were paid compensation because the bridge damaged their equipment and their vehicles. I can't understand how the Prime Minister now didn't even remember that and trying to throw blame at the council when even the government through its ministry have been paying compensation for damages incurred at that bridge. And it's the same with the young lady who suffered injury. In fact, I'm aware that the young woman is already taken a lawyer and is seeking legal counsel in terms of where next to take this matter. And I think she have every right to do that.
Yeah, because we saw the photographs on social media and she was badly bruised, and then
Yes.
an infant is involved as well.
I think, Sherrod, I am so upset when you have that sort of avoidable situation.
I mean, it could have ended worse, much worse.
Avoidable situation when we had 4 months prior a report outlining just how dangerous that piece of infrastructure is.
Yeah, yeah. We talk about the revenue sharing from the bridge, and the fact now that this toll is free since July 31. Has anything different happened in terms of the engagement with the government in terms of the shortfall for the municipality now?
Well, we had said this at several occasions when this announcement was made. We had also engaged through letters to the ministry to notify them that this is going to financially hurt the council. $77 million were already budgeted in our 2025 budget in anticipation that the remainder of the year will see us receiving the bridge toll. That is now taken out. A portion of that is now out of the budget. Now, persons may ask, what have we been doing with $77 million? Well, it helps to pay the rates, it helps to pay salaries at the council. It helps to ensure that we are able to provide effective and efficient services around the community. But more than anything else, the council over the past 7 years did not increase wages and salaries. Because of our 2-year tenure, 2 years tenure of proper fiscal management, we were able to generate more income that allowed us to put 35% increase on those workers for the years that they have not been given the increase. What this removal of this bridge toll will do, it is not only going to affect our ability to deal with wages and salaries, but it's going to affect our ability to deal with any further increases that we have to pay, and to also meet any additional areas that we have to give services and manage. So this is certainly going to impact the council's ability to conduct its work.
Yeah.
What I want to say also, it was Jack Dio who said that he is going to have an engagement after the council outlined just how dangerous this is to the council, its ability to generate revenue, and what it will mean in its ability to conduct its work. We heard from a press conference by Jack Dio that they will be meeting with the council. To date, that has not been done.
And I want to even take you a little before that. It was the last local government election was in the vicinity of June of 2023, where same General Secretary of the PPP who said that he was going to engage councils, win or lose, in terms of moving the municipalities forward.
I think, Sherrod, this is not a government that is respectful of local democracy and local governance. This is a government, I know even in the campaign, it was one of the feature of the message in terms of good governance. And this is a government that doesn't have any respect for good governance. Allowing institutions to work, allowing these municipalities to function in line with 2801, allowing councillors to be given the sort of empowerment just like the mayor should to execute their function instead of obstructing that with imposing town clerks and undermining the local government commission and an imposition by the minister. Those are in itself just the level of no respect for councils, one, but in itself to undermine local democracy and the decision and the choice that are made by people in identifying their local leaders.
Yeah, because, and while you're on that, as against engagement, what we saw is a lot of conflict and contention, and we only have the recent issue of the what you call the amplifier during the meeting being unplugged and all of that.
Well, we did say that, Sherrod. I mean,
by the town clerk appointed by the PPP. That's what.
Well, we would normally refer to him as the PPP appointed clerk. This is first public servant I know that has been appointed 2 times to the same position, because we called them out on it when they had appointed him incorrectly, and then it was corrected and he was appointed once again 4 months after. But we had outlined to Linden and the commission that his appointment is an imposition for 2 things: to undermine the work of the council, and wherever resources are, to ensure they are given to family, friends, and favorites. And we have witnessed that on several occasions, including the obstruction, as you said, with the amplifier situation. But that in itself goes to show again the level of respect that the People's Progressive Party got for local democracy, local government, and good governance. Added to that, Sherrod, with reference to the clerk and his conduct, I think it's important as we anticipate to come a next local government elections, we see where government, not only with undermining with these administrators, but without giving resources to council, give to parallel groups, whether they are CDCs or others, to do the work of councils instead of allowing councils to do their work. And I know this is one of the play for the PPP with reference to their local government campaign. Bypass councils that are aligned to the opposition, and to ensure resources are given to party, family, friends, and favorites in those CDCs group. So let me give you one. At the last local government election, every candidate of the People's Progressive Party is a chairperson of a CDC group. That is where the resources are then passed to popularize those candidates who failed miserably, by the way, at the last local government. And
after they said there was a red wave in Linden.
Well, Sherrod, I think by now we have a good understanding of how in Linden,
never materialized.
Certainly. But I think it's given us a good opportunity in preparation to see all of the antics of the PPP to undermine councils, and to even see their campaign approach to local government in terms of not respecting local democracy.
Yeah. These seem to be the final days of your tenure as mayor of Linden, because you're transitioning into national politics. I mean, you've always been here, but more formally, I should say, more formally into national politics in the National Assembly as a legislator. What will you look back on as some of your proud moments as mayor of Linden?
Oh, Linden, mayor. Just to make Linden to be given that spotlight as the heart of Guyana. I think we have made it a very aggressive approach in everything that we did. And I'll tell you one, we have designed this council to be what we call not an administrative council, but a political council, because we knew what we were up against. And that level of aggression to even brand Linden as the heart of Guyana, that level of aggression where we see aggression to move waste management in a direction where the market square is far better than we saw it when we came 2 years ago. We literally had sewage and water and garbage in the middle of the road, in the middle of the park. Those things are no longer there, Sherrod, and I think for that it is very important that we transmit that to the rest of Linden, that to be the heart of Guyana, we have to be the cleanest in Guyana. And I think those are some of the things. Also, to have our more aggressive approach again, to be in communities. We have, over the past 2 years, Sherrod, held over 180 meetings across the several constituencies. And just to have that ability to be engaging with residents, we took a three-parts approach to governance in the municipality while I was there, which is, if government, where they must be part of the process, doesn't participate, which we found them not on many occasions, then what resources we have in the council, number two, is what we will effectively use in the interest of the town. We saw where the clerk came in to obstruct that. But number three, which was very important, we go back to the people, we work in our communities, mobilize, organize, and we manage to get a whole lot done, Sherrod. It is unfortunate that government don't respect local democracy and would stifle communities in this country that is now emerging as the richest country of the world only because of political differences.
Yeah, and even as you said that, I was reading Guardian UK article which says, yes, richest in the world, but 58% of the people live in poverty, below the breadline, suffering, hard economic times.
Well, you know, Sherrod, growth doesn't necessarily equal development. I think Guyana is a prime example of that. You know, you see every minute the people are screaming development, but then when you look at the reality on the ground, and I think that too is one of my greatest joy as regional chairman that I served before and as mayor, to really be on the grassroots and to be down on the ground, to hear, to see, to witness, to appreciate just how difficult it could be, but more than anything else, how resilient our people are and still hopeful that more can be done. This is the country that got persons still living in abject poverty, almost 30+%, in this which could be the richest country of the world. So I think it is not our inability to get people out of poverty. It is our inability to ensure that we identify good, proper managers of the state and its resources to ensure people are given their fair share.
Excellent. So you are heading into the National Assembly, yes. Sharma. You know, a lot of folks might say this was a long time in coming. This should have been done a long time ago, since you've been ahead in these issues and on the national stage for quite some time, you know, as early as 2012. Those of us, we were young and brash, wet behind the ears. You were already out there firing on all 6, all 8 cylinders. You're coming into the National Assembly. What are your own expectations of the National Assembly, and what do you think that you're bringing to this process to enhance it?
Listen, I've had 2 councils to run, chairman and mayor. My expectations are, I know both councils dealt with this government.
Sharma, stick a pin. Is this historic? Is this a hat trick? You've been chairman, you've been mayor, and now you've been MP? You might be one of the only people. You're not the only person.
I'm humble to say that, but you know, I am humble because I'm coming to that point too. You know, I take very humble the opportunity to be able to serve. But you know, the good thing about where I sat as chairman and mayor, and as I said before, my councils that I served, I said to them, because we're up against the People's Progressive Party all time, that this will not be an administrative house to linger. This will be a political, aggressive approach. It is the same expectation I have in the National Assembly, that we will have to be very politically aggressive on the agenda and on the issues. I am accustomed to that, and I intend to take that same approach. The other thing I also think is I'm very well positioned to appreciate is to now be able to see what was happening on the ground at a very micro level, very granular stage, and to be able to see how we can now articulate that where it needs to be articulated in the National Assembly, so that we have the right, proper, and strong representation for those people down below. I think that is absolutely necessary, that we have added voices, more so persons who have been dwelling, people who have been walking, people who have been wiping the tears of mothers who have been crying. I think it's important for us to go into the assembly and let the public, let the rest of the country know just what is happening and what we need to do to fix it.
Excellent. If you had your choice of issues to champion in National Assembly, to shadow perhaps, what are you looking at?
I think I come with a wealth of local government experience. I think local governance, and one of the things I always say to people, my passion for history is something that makes me appreciate just what local government can be and should become, which is self-determination. You know, we've had our foreparents fighting for self-determination to ensure they have a say. Our Article 13 allows for the participation of people in things that affect their lives. And I think when those things are not respected down below, I think you see it obstructing the true growth and development of Guyanese. And that is something I believe as an area to focus on, coming from the regional chairman, coming from the mayor, where all our local government aligned agencies. I've had the opportunity to serve and to work in all of those areas, even to manage local government campaign. Let us not forget, 2023 Linden pulled off the most successful campaign ever. So I think those things would have equipped me well to at least make that sort of focus one of my priorities.
Yeah, and it was during that campaign, again, we talk about this, well, they were talking about this red wave and that never materialized, and this is because you all contained the PPP,
Yes.
enormous spending,
Yes.
not for the want of enormous spending, as against
100 million to $5 million.
yeah, and contained the PPP, and progressed from there.
Yes. I think there is a lot, even as we evaluate the 2025 results, Sharon, and we compare them whether to past general elections and to see where there were glory moments in local government elections and where we have to make the adjustments and the necessary fix. I think the 2023 local government elections will provide a lot of answers to help with that in terms of where the public interest is, in terms of the data collection and data analysis, because we did more than 55%, almost 60% of the voter turnout, that it was enough for us to use the results to run proper analysis. I think those things are now going to be used as we evaluate this 2025 general elections also.
Excellent. As we wrap up, Sharma, I want to use this opportunity to talk to the next generation of councillors and chairmen and members of parliament coming in, because I know a lot of young people are very tuned into politics. They want to know what's happening, and then they're being motivated to. How do you keep them interested in a politics that is shifting almost on a daily basis, and there's such an acceptance for the abnormal more than what you think is the norm? How do we bring them into the process and shepherd them through to play a meaningful role in public life?
I think a lot would have changed. You know, you made the point. I was out of this, not out, but out of service office for a little while. But I wasn't. It would give me an opportunity to be out for almost 9 years to really appreciate the changing dynamics of the politics. You know, we came in at a time where we had a different type of inculcating of how we mature around politics. You know, those people who brought us in are either no longer here, or, you know, they're not actively involved in politics. So I think now to take 8 years away, and to see whether it is the technology of politics, whether it's social media and AI, whether it's the data generating and how data is being used. Let us not forget Mercury and all of these agencies. I think those new dynamics now have worked well with the opportunity. I always say to people, international relations at UG is the closest thing you'll get to political science. I think it gave me an opportunity in studying that to refine a lot of how to theoretically deal with many of the things in terms of messaging. I can say this, for example, we had in our local government campaign, we were very critical to use crucial messaging such as the eat a food culture, the looking for it culture, which resonated with young people. So I think, it's a good opportunity now to use this where you have had the opportunity to learn, to see where the dynamics of politics in Guyana have changed, and in particular to see how young people have started to gravitate to that. And we have found something at last local government election that resonated, and we hope we can develop it as we go forward, which is to directly approach young people, not with handouts and trinkets and promises. Those things work, but don't work for a long time. And I think that is where we want to find ourselves. Not only finding their interests and their attention, but getting them to participate after we get their attention into nation building.
Excellent. Excellent. I had another question. It's
all right.
I was so engrossed in what you're saying there. But interesting times ahead of us.
Very interesting times.
Very interesting. The question I had is, what do you say to people who are tremendously disappointed in our performance at the last election? What do you say to them?
I think one of the responsible things we have recognized, even coming from the lead and the leadership, is that this needs to be evaluated. And I think in that evaluation where it starts from, it will give us a lot that we have to correct. As I said, just in a general sense of it, not being around the politics, as I said, service participating, a lot would have changed. And I don't think as an opposition, we adapted well to those changes. And I think whether those changes are the way financing campaigns go, whether those changes are the way we saw young people responding to this campaign, whether those changes are you had a new political movement and our message, those are things I'm certain in the evaluation of a report coming out. And I hope for it to be very insightful, honest, and very constructive. I am certain those things will be identified, which will give us an opportunity to correct. And now how do we consolidate to move forward?
Yeah. Congratulations again, Chairman. Thank you for your service as Mayor of Linden. Congratulations on your appointment, your election as a member of the National Assembly.
Thank you very much.
That's going to do it for us.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. Welcome back, folks. How y'all doing? Sitting down there with the Mayor of Linden, the outgoing Mayor of Linden. Him having to step back from being Mayor of Linden to ascend to the National Assembly, folks, as a legislator. And I'm so happy. It's like having fresh legs on the field, fresh ideas out there to move us forward. Congrats to all our other members of Parliament coming in, and congrats to all of the APNU, Partnership for National Unity members of Parliament, the We Invest in Nationhood members of Parliament, the People's Progressive Party Civic members of Parliament, and also the Forward Ghana Movement member of Parliament coming in as well. Folks, of course, we want our team to do the best. But folks, I think if we do good, we all do good for this country. The country moves forward, and we got to advance our agenda. As I said, we had a meeting last evening talking a lot about that. The policy agenda over the next 5 years, the legislative agenda over the next 5 years that overlaps with that as well. And we're going to be switching things up a little bit, doing a couple of things differently, folks, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, we get the same result. We got to switch things up. Got to switch it up a little bit. So I'm excited about the weeks, months, and years ahead, folks, as this new future beckons, this new reality is here. We got to accept the world as it is and not how we want it to be. Only. That being said, folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. That's our time this morning. Thanks for staying with us. Mindy and Juliet and Everett, Ingrid, Angela, Jordan, good to see you. Bridget and all the other folks on the live this morning. Smash that emoji button for us if you found the content to be of any value to you. This is what we love doing. That's our time. Bringing it to you. Credible, valid information all the time. Bringing it to you live and direct. That's going to do it for us and listen. That's our time, good folks. That's our broadcast. We're going to see you at the other end of the day, all things being equal. Stay safe. Stay